Hey lovely one, Lauren here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a super slow and stretchy practice for us all to enjoy. And this is going to be a propless practice. So all you're really going to need is just yourselves and a little bit of space. But by all means, if you want to bring in a couple of blocks maybe, or a cushion or a blanket, if you want to make it a little bit more cozy, that's absolutely fine as well. But as I said before, just yourselves and a little bit of space is absolutely fine, okay? We're going to start down to the ground, and in fact, the majority of our practice is actually going to be quite low down today. And thinking about opening up through the hips and a little bit through the hamstrings, a little bit through side body as well, but yes, just slow and stretchy. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy. So when you're ready, let's come all the way down onto our mats and let's find a Baddha Konasana. So bringing the soles of the feet together, letting the knees gently fall out to the side. And by all means, maybe we bring the feet in a little bit closer towards us, or it might feel nicer to send the feet actually a little bit further away and create a slightly wider diamond shape. This is the first shape of our practice, so it doesn't need to be the most intense or the deepest stretch we've had yet. Let's just take it nice and easy. Let's just softly arrive into our practice. So the palms of the hands might kind of just gently rest on top of the feet. Take a moment to grow fairly tall through the spine, shoulders down and away from those ears. Take a breath. And as you exhale, you might begin to fold. Now again, it's the first shape of our practice, so this doesn't need to be the deepest fold we've ever taken. Just let yourselves naturally come into a fold and your body will tell you when enough is enough, okay? So finding that very first kind of hint of resistance here. Let's just see if we can be here for a few moments, letting gravity kind of take hold of the knees, gently guiding them down to the ground. And we can just spend a few moments with the breath, feeling the breath perhaps moving up and down the length of your spine, feeling that 360 expansion of the ribcage as we take in that clean, fresh air. And inviting in as much softness as we can here. Perhaps closing off the eyes if that feels okay for you. Closing off that outside world. Really starting to draw our awareness in. Feel the support of the ground beneath you, sit bones rooting down towards the mat, towards the earth. And as you continue to sink into these waves of softness with every exhale, perhaps we notice the heart diving a little bit further, little by little, bit by bit. And these tiny shifts, again, they are tiny, so they might not be visible to the outside eye. Just softly let yourselves dive in. And as we send our awareness throughout the body here, just see what we notice. Places of achiness or tension. Perhaps we're feeling a little bit tired in this moment. Whatever you notice here, as always, it was exactly meant to be. So whatever you bring to the mats, whatever we may be experiencing here, arrive into your practice wholly and completely. So without leaving a part of you behind, perhaps part of you is still thinking about work maybe and all the many tasks we might have to do. Let's see if we can bring all of us into the practice without kind of separating us off into what's been going on throughout our day so far, or what might happen throughout our day, throughout the afternoon maybe, or evening. Bring all of you to this moment right here, right now. And as we continue to arrive, let's welcome it in as much kindness and compassion here for, again, whatever you're experiencing. Appreciate the sensations that might be moving through you. See if we can even appreciate our thoughts here, no matter how many there are, no matter how many directions our thoughts are trying to pull us in. Can we actually appreciate those thoughts here? take a moment to notice where we might be gripping in the body. Are we gripping onto the feet super tightly, or can we let the hands just softly rest? Are we gripping in the hips, or again, can we send the breath there, send that softness there? Beautiful. Just take a couple more breaths here. Slow, steady. If it feels better to let the head hang heavy, you can do, releasing a little bit through the back of the neck. And maybe let's take just about 5 more breaths in this shape. Notice how where you are now might be slightly different compared to when you first arrived here. One more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Okay, and as we inhale, let's gently push down through the feet to really softly start to rise yourselves all the way up, stacking up bone by bone. You can keep the eyes closed, or you might start to flutter the eyes open back into your little yoga space today. Beautiful. And then from here, nice and easy, let's extend right leg out to the right hand side. And you might bring that left heel a little bit closer towards you. So again, we've still got both sit bones rooting down to the ground. Letting that right leg extend perhaps off the mat to that right hand side. And then you're either going to bring right hand either to the inside of that right leg, or you might bring it to the outside, depending on what gives you more space here. Sometimes actually bringing the hand to the outside, again, gives us that little bit more space to maybe lean into the stretch. So wherever you want to go, let's take a deep breath in. Let's sweep that left arm up to the sky. And let's creep into that side body a little bit. Beautiful. So if you're practicing kind of first thing in your day like I am, we might really be feeling into the stretch already, so it doesn't take much. And again, just be with your breath. Rolling that left shoulder back slightly. Energy reaching out through the fingertips. Now as we tilt a little bit over to the right, can we keep that left sit bone pressing down to the ground? Beautiful. Still feel that 360 expansion of your rib cage. Lovely. Well done. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. Let's go for one more. Fabulous. As we inhale, really gently rise all the way up. Use your right hand to kind of pull this right knee back in towards you. And you might take a moment just to wriggle that left foot a little bit further over to the right and see if we can maybe hook this right foot onto the outside of the left knee. So crossing the legs here. Now, if this kind of feels like we're tying ourselves up in knots slightly, feel free to maybe go ahead and release the bottom leg. So in this side, it will be the left leg. So you can stretch that out in front, keeping that right foot flat down to the ground. This might be where you prefer to go. Or alternatively, you can simply come to cross-legged. That's also a very valid option here. So wherever you are, wherever feels best for you, again, gently arrive here. Okay, let's sit up nice and tall through the spine. Let's see if we can bring that right hand back behind us. Take a deep breath in. Let's reach left fingertips up to the sky. So already starting to find a little twist here. And then as we exhale, maybe we bring this left elbow down and it might hook to the outside edge of that right knee. Beautiful. Now, if that elbow to knee connection feels a little bit too much, maybe we just opt to hug the thigh into the chest instead here. Now, if you're cross-legged, it's just that easy twist. Again, you've got that right hand back behind you, maybe left hand to the right knee. And again, finding that twist towards the right hand side. Beautiful. So it's very similar. Whatever orientation we have of the legs, you're just finding that twist throughout the upper body here. So shining the heart round to that right hand side. And you might continue gazing to the right hand side, or you might even turn to look past your right shoulder here. Lovely. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Let's go for one more. Beautiful. Now as we inhale, let's really gently start to unravel. Let's maybe have a little lean to the left hand side. You're going to unravel this right leg and send it all the way back behind you. And then we're going to lift the hips slightly to fold this left shin underneath us. Extend that right leg to the back of the mat and let the hips drop down to the ground. So we've slowly arrived in a little pigeon pose. See if we can let the hips be heavy down to the ground. Maybe take a deep breath in, lift up through the heart space. And as we exhale, perhaps we gently soften down onto the elbows, letting the heart gently dive down towards the ground. Lovely, well done. Okay, so starting to come into one of these deep hip openers here. So let's again invite in that kindness, that compassion, that softness. Send it towards these tricky places in the body where, we might be holding on to so much here. We're actually going to dedicate a little bit of time to be in this shape. So as best you can, allow the body to just gradually get heavier and heavier. Know that you've got the support of the mat beneath you, the support of the earth beneath you. And as always, if we need to adjust anything, if we need to change anything at all to make it a little bit more comfortable for us, we can do. Okay. And perhaps we stay lifted up onto the forearms, or we might slide the elbows out to the side. Maybe forehead comes to the back of the hands here. Again, let yourselves dive on in. And here we might really be able to experience the rise and fall of that back body. Every exhale sinking that little bit further into the earth. Might ask yourselves again here, am I gripping in any place of my body? Am I gripping in the hips or the lower spine? Can I send that little reminder to that place in the body that it's okay to let go, it's okay to soften? We know that our body does so much to protect us. It does so much to keep us safe, particularly the bigger muscles of the body, so your glutes or your quadriceps. They are very used to pretty much always being in some way, shape or form switched on. So let's allow them to kind of turn off for a little bit. Allowing our muscles to let go and maybe finding that little bit more space. Perhaps it's about 5 breaths here, slow, steady. And even though we might sense we're coming to the end of our time in the shape, let's try not to rush those breaths. Let them continue at that steady pace you have already created for yourselves. And then one more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Beautiful. Let's really gently push down through the hands. Take your time with this transition, so nothing has to happen super fast here today. So gently lifting up through the head and heart. Maybe we let that left hip drop down towards the ground. And then we're going to sweep this right leg all the way back around. Come back to that butterfly. So come back to the soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. And we might notice one leg feels a little bit different compared to the other. Particularly maybe the left leg that was underneath you. There might be almost a little tingling through the toes maybe as we feel that blood rushing through that left leg. Okay. Now again, take a diamond shape, whichever you prefer, either feet close in or a little bit further apart. You might do something slightly different this time. Let's take another deep breath in, grow tall. Now as we exhale, again, let's allow ourselves to fold, but notice what feels different here. Maybe we're able to surrender that little bit more into the stretch. Maybe it feels the exact same. Again, just notice. We don't have to feel a certain way or act a certain way. Just see what's there for you in this moment. Okay. And feel free to stay as you are with the hands resting on top of the feet, and again resisting the urge to really grip hold of the toes and kind of force yourselves further into the shape. Let's just arrive wherever we are. Or maybe in fact we start to thread the arms underneath your ankles, so backs the hands down to the ground, maybe forearms come towards the earth here, and maybe again we relax through the back of the neck, let the head hang heavy. So we might take a slightly different variation of the shape here, or you might stay exactly where you are. Again, they're just different variations of the same thing, so neither is better than the other. Beautiful. And if we've got the hands underneath the ankles, we might notice how the fingertips really curl into the center of your palm. Might also offer a little bit of light wrist relief here. And again, where are we gripping? Where can we allow ourselves to let go that a little bit more? Continue to dive into the body. Notice all these little sensations. And sometimes when we come to these moments of quiet contemplation, suddenly it might seem as though we're feeling a lot in this moment. We might notice a whole lot about ourselves, a whole range of sensations, a whole range of thoughts, feelings, emotions. And if that feels perhaps a little bit too overwhelming, all I invite you to do is just think of the breath. Think of every inhale, every exhale. You can even count the breaths if it helps. Let's allow you to keep drawing the awareness in, and in a way giving ourselves time and space to process all that's going on inside right now. And let it again be about 5 more breaths in this shape. Slow, steady, no rush. And final drink of breath in. Final breath out. Okay, as we inhale, again, really gently starting to lift the head and chest, lift the ankles, unthread the arms out from underneath. And then perhaps gently pushing down through the fingertips to gradually stack up bone by bone. And again, take a moment as you rise up here. And then very gently, let's extend left leg out to the left-hand side, maybe pulling that right heel a little bit closer in. And this extension of the left leg might feel quite nice here. Again, that was the leg that was curled underneath us in that pigeon pose for quite some time. So just a moment to lengthen the left leg out to the side might feel really nice. So again, just notice. And then when you're ready, again, left hand either to the inside or the outside of the leg, doesn't matter. Let's take a deep breath in. Let's sweep that right arm up to the sky, rolling that right shoulder back and just coming as far into the side body stretch as you wish. Breathing into that right side body, sending as much energy out through the fingertips as best we can. Really taking those deep drinks of breath in. Beautiful. And again, as we take that little lean to the left, can we keep right sit bones down to the ground? Let's go for one more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Beautiful. And let's inhale to gently rise all the way back up. Beautiful. Let's use that left hand to again help us to create a bend through that left knee. Shuffle that right foot a little bit further over to the left. And again, maybe we cross left leg on top of the right. Now again, we've got all those options here. So you might be here with both sit bones down to the ground, and this might be fairly comfortable. Or we might prefer to extend the bottom leg, the right leg, out to the top of the mat. Might help us to bring both sit bones down to the ground a little bit more comfortably, yeah? Or we might just come to cross-legged, yeah? And again, that is still a very valid option. So go to wherever feels best for you, making sure we can grow tall through the spine. And let's bring that left hand back behind us. Inhale, right fingertips reach up to the sky. So imagine you're grabbing something from a top shelf here, and we really have to reach up super high. And as we exhale, we bring this right elbow down. Maybe it hooks to the outside edge of that left knee. And again, if that elbow to knee connection just doesn't feel great for whatever reason, maybe we just opt to hug the thigh in instead. And again, if you're in cross-legged, perhaps it's left hand behind, right hand to the left knee, and you're in the twist here. Beautiful. So again, they're all different variations of essentially the same thing. Neither's better than the other. Lovely, well done. And again, perhaps gazing out to that left-hand side, or maybe turning to look back behind you if that feels okay for the neck here. Beautiful. Take as deep a breath as we can, even though the belly might be slightly compressed with that knee to chest. Beautiful. See if we can still find that 360 expansion. And then one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Okay. As we inhale, let's gently unravel. Take a little lean to the right hand side this time. We're going to unravel that left leg, send it to the back of the mat. So you might take a moment just to lift the hips and lay that right shin down towards the ground here. Beautiful. So coming into our pigeon pose on the other side. So wriggle that left leg back behind you as far as it wants to go, letting the left knee come down towards the ground. Hips sinking down towards the mat as one. Take a deep breath in, lift up through the head and heart. And as you exhale, gently coming down onto the elbows, sending the heart forwards. Beautiful, softening here. Okay. And again, we're going to be here for a little bit of time. So invite in as much of that lovely softness as you can. Notice where we might be gripping, where we might be holding on. Can we send that little bit of kindness to those places in the body? Send them that little reminder that it's okay to let go. It's okay to soften, even if it's just for a moment, just a little glimpse. That's okay too. And if you prefer to send the elbows out to the side and bring the forehead to the back of the hands, feel free to move towards there if that feels okay for you. But we might prefer just to be on the forearms here, giving the heart a little bit more space. And again, let's just be here. See if we can let the fingertips be soft here. So sometimes it's really tempting to interlace the hands and kind of clench through the fists. See if we can let the fingertips, the wrists, the hands be soft here. And again, feel that gentle pull of gravity welcoming you into the mat. Almost like it's pulling you in for that warm embrace. So feel the body get heavier and heavier. And again, roughly about 5 more breaths here. Take it steady. Try not to rush. One more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Beautiful. Now again, take your time as you start to rise, pushing down through the hands, gently lifting yourselves all the way up. Beautiful. Let's carefully lower that right hip down to the ground. And then from here, let's sweep the legs all the way to the top of the mat. Extend the legs out in front here. So again, we might notice a little difference between right and left hand side. Maybe we need to give the toes a little wriggle, maybe. You might take a moment just to peel the flesh out from underneath the sit bones, perhaps. Lovely, well done. And let's leave the legs as they are for a moment. Let's lean into the hands back behind us. You can have the fingertips pointing whichever direction that feels comfortable for you. Take a deep breath in. Let's push down through the hands. Let's lift up through that heart space. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. You might let the head drop back behind you if that feels okay. Take your breath. Take an exhale. Beautiful. Start to tuck the chin back towards the chest, and very gently we're going to creep the fingertips a little bit further forwards. So keeping this length through the spine. So again, take a breath, grow tall. And as we exhale, creeping the fingertips down the length of the legs now, only as far as they want to go. So again, come to that point where we feel that first little hint of resistance here and soften into the fold. And this fold might feel vastly different with having the legs out in front. Sometimes by having the feet together, we're creating that little external rotation with the hips and giving ourselves more space to fold forwards. And then with the legs extended, that can really change the experience here. So we might not necessarily fold as far. That's okay as well. And again, it really depends on when we're practicing in our day. So again, if you're practicing this first thing in the morning, the body is going to be a little bit more resistant. It might not be as ready for those deep stretches. So again, go with wherever you are at now. If you're practicing in the evening and the body feels more spacious, that might enable you to go that little bit further. But again, just be with whatever's happening right now. And let's again just take our time to dive into the fold. So wherever the hands land, let them land super softly. You might gradually over time think about creeping the fingertips a little bit further forwards, or they might just stay exactly where they are. Beautiful. Let's allow the legs to relax a little bit. So rather than taking an active fold and digging the heels down to the ground and lifting the toes up to the sky, you can actually let the feet flop out to the side a little bit here. So letting the legs relax, letting the legs just be heavy. And you just dive on in. Beautiful, really well done. Let's take a couple more breaths. Deep breath in through the nose. Soft sigh out through the mouth. Beautiful. So again, let the exhale take you that little bit further. Feel free to let the head hang heavy here. Send the breath to wherever we feel this most. And then again, let's let it be about 5 more breaths here. And so a deep breath in through the nose. And perhaps it's a beautiful sigh out through the mouth. 4 more of those. One more deep drink of breath in. Beautiful. Now again, as we softly inhale, gently creep the fingertips back towards you, stack up bone by bone, gently rising all the way up. Beautiful. And then from here, just take it nice and easy. Let's swing the ankles round to one side. Bring yourselves into a little tabletop. So this might be kind of the highest we're going to go today. Okay, so let's keep the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, finding that sturdy foundation through your tabletop, and there might be kind of extra little shifts of weight side to side, forwards and back, getting the hands used to having a little bit of weight placed down into them. And if the wrists are feeling a little bit achy today, feel free to maybe come down onto the forearms. You can be here instead. That might minimize our range of movement through our cat and cow, but again, it just might take that pressure off the wrists here. So whether you're down on the forearms or the arms fully extended, let's move through that cat and cow as we inhale. Glide the belly down, lifting up through the head and heart. Lift the tailbone up to the sky, gaze forwards. And as we exhale, rounding through the back, tucking the chin towards the chest, tucking the tailbone under. Beautiful. Breathe into that space between the shoulder blades. And a couple more times. Breathing in. So again, use the breath to guide you from one place to the next. And see how the breath can assist our movement here. So imagine if we were to move through this whilst holding our breath, that would definitely change the experience of the movement here. So use the breath to give life to every movement, to give you more space. And light up those little pockets of spaces within. Lovely. Couple more rounds at your own pace. So again, there's no need to rush, but just go at a pace that feels comfortable for you. Beautiful. Have about one more full round. One more inhale. One more exhale. Okay. Inhale, coming to a neutral spine, and then let's separate the knees, maybe about mat distance apart. Big toes come together to touch. Take a nice little child's pose. So press your hips back towards the heels. You might continue to reach the fingertips out in front, or you might prefer to stack one hand on top of the other and use that as a little pillow for the forehead to rest on. Okay. Curling yourselves up into a little ball here. How does it feel to draw yourselves up in this shape? Sometimes it feels quite comforting to curl into ourselves. So again, just notice. Notice what sensations might be moving through you right now. Do we feel safe here? Do we feel warm, cozy? And even if it's completely the opposite, see if we can let it be and still appreciate those thoughts, those feelings for being there. Reminding us that we have the ability to feel. Taking one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. As we inhale, let's lift the head and chest slightly, begin to reach the fingertips towards the top of the mat. You can glue the forearms down and gently swim the torso through, perhaps lengthen the legs back behind you to come all the way down, hips coming down to the ground, and kind of arrive in your Sphinx pose here. So forearms pushing the ground away, shoulders down and away from those ears. Let the legs perhaps separate slightly so the heels roll in, toes point out. Little gentle back bend here, and again the glutes are kind of subtly switched on here just to give the lower spine a little degree of protection. And whilst you're here, you might take a few little movements through the head and neck. So you might tick-tock the head from side to side, let the chin drop down towards the chest, anything at all. Beautiful. Take another deep breath in. And another deep breath out. Beautiful. Now from here, taking this steady, I'm going to think about lifting the left elbow away from the ground. Thread your right arm underneath, so reach right fingertips to the left hand side. Now you might need to fold left knee up to the left side body now, okay? So there's quite a lot happening here. Slightly strange transition, but I promise it's going to feel really nourishing. So you've got that left knee folded up to the left side body, right fingertips reaching out to that left hand side. And then from here, you're gently going to start to roll onto your backs. Now, you may not come completely onto the back here. In fact, you're going to kind of keep this left knee where it is. And see if we can maybe reach that left arm out to the left-hand side as you spiral the heart up to the sky. So coming into this beautiful big twist for the body now. So the beauty of coming into the twist in this way is that you control how much you roll onto your back. So let's not worry too much about bringing both shoulder blades down to the ground, but making sure we can kind of keep that left knee down to the ground and just opening the heart to the sky as much as feels comfortable. If you feel like this left arm is kind of awkwardly hanging in space, maybe you bring left hand to rest on the lower spine or the outside of that left hip maybe. Beautiful. And let's again allow ourselves to get heavier and heavier here. So are we gripping? Are we inviting tension in? Or can we invite as much of that softness in? How can we use the breath to help us here? Perhaps by taking that deep breath in and feeling the body rise slightly, almost as if we're rising slightly away from the mat. As you exhale, can you sink back into it? Beautiful. So really feel the body surrender. Perhaps repeating that a couple of times, feeling the body rise, almost like we're levitating off the mat. Exhale, sink. Beautiful, well done. Perhaps it's just one more time, deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Beautiful. Now really gently we go back the way we came. So left hand comes up and over. Maybe it lands down to the ground just in front of that right arm. Go ahead and lengthen that left leg back next to the right. Push down through that left hand to unthread that right arm. Come back into your Sphinx. So we come back to where we started. And yeah, feel free to maybe just have a little wriggle here. See how there's many differences in the body now or similarities. Take a breath. Take an exhale. Beautiful. Now let's go the other way. So pushing down through the right fingertips, lifting the right elbow away from the mat. Threading the left arm across to that right hand side. Bend the right knee up to the right side body. And again, gently start to roll to the left. Maybe we take that right arm to reach out to that right hand side. Now again, if we feel like the arm is hanging awkwardly in space, maybe we bring that right hand to rest on the hip or the lower spine here. So you can bring this right arm a little bit closer towards you if needs be. And as you roll into that twist, there may be a couple of clicks, a couple of cracks. I had a great few clicks down my spine as I came into this. You might have even heard them. So again, let the body be heavy and only go as far into the twist as you wish. If you'd rather be a little bit more on the side here, you can be. And again, we don't need to worry about bringing that right shoulder blade down to the ground. Only go as far as feels comfortable for you. Use the breath as your guide, as your best friend here to help you sink on in. final few breaths as you are now. Perhaps one more inhale. One more exhale. And then really gently taking your time, instead of going back the way we came, we're going to continue to come all the way onto our back. So maybe you kind of step that right foot down to the ground. And if you roll off the mat here, no worries. Bend through both knees, push down through the feet, lift the hips, and kind of have this little shuffle back onto the mat. So we come back and do onto this cozy little mat kind of waiting for us. Beautiful. Maybe you keep the knees bent for a moment, let the whole spine now meet the ground, and you might in fact draw the knees into the chest, almost as if we can allow the lower spine to decompress into the mat. Have a little sway from side to side, or you might just wipe a blade the knees from side to side. Let the back of the head feel supported, so the head is still heavy here. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And as we inhale, we might slowly start to expand and take up space. So you might let the feet float down to the ground if they're not there already. If you're enjoying this connection of the whole spine into the mat, maybe we keep the knees bent and let the knees knock together. And again, if you'd like to take up even more space here, maybe lengthen legs out in front. Let the feet flop out to the side. Arms might rest by the sides of your body, or perhaps resting on the belly or chest. And any final little bits of movement you wish to take here, feel free to take them now. And just let yourself sink. Coming into the final shape of our practice, our final Shavasana, where you are free, completely free to just be. Be with all the sensations moving through you. Be with whatever experience you're noticing right now. And allow yourselves to deeply and truly rest. Knowing that you are held by the mat beneath you. As you sink into the mat, maybe feeling the earth rise up to greet you here, rising up to embrace you. And we gradually bring ourselves to this place of calm and quiet. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Softly sigh out through the mouth. And again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. One final time, deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Begin to have a little wriggle through fingertips and toes. Perhaps rotating the wrists and the ankles. Let that movement ever so gently build into anything you need it to be. You might reach the arms up and above behind the head. Take a nice big stretch along the mat, or maybe have a good old yawn here. And then when you're ready, choosing a side, either the left or the right. Let's just gently roll to that one side. You might make a little pillow out of the hands for the head to rest on. Just let yourselves lie on the side body just for a moment here. And then only when you are ready, you can continue that process of gradually rising up, using the hands to help you. And let's just come back to a comfortable seated position, whatever that means for you. That might be crossed legs, or you might sit with the legs extended. Just gently arise here. Okay. Let's nestle sit bones down into the ground. Palms to hands land on the knees. Let's slide those shoulders down and away from those ears. And as always, we seal our practice with the final blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. And may you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, the palms to hands come together in front of the heart. And we bow. Rising up when you're ready, YouTube yogis. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that was just what you needed. Maybe we're feeling a little bit more awake, a little bit more spacious, or we might be ready to just have a nice long nap. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, whatever it may bring, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with another practice for you. All right. So I'll see you then. Mwah. Bye. Hey Yogi, thank you so much for practicing with me. I really hope you enjoyed your practice. Just thought I'd sneak in at the end here and say, if you are wanting to practice a little bit more, if you perhaps want to dive a little bit deeper into the beautiful world of yoga, then the great news is that I'm offering one-to-ones online. So you can join me from the comfort of your home, me from mine, and we can get together either live online, or I'll pre-record some classes just for you. And the beauty of those practices is that they are tailored to what you desire. So if you're just wanting to learn a little bit more about yoga, if you're a beginner and you're not quite sure what's what and you want to get a deeper understanding of anatomy or how the body kind of moves around on the mat, or maybe you're just wanting to try slightly different practices, if you're wanting to try yin yoga, for example. Or maybe we're kind of building up the confidence to maybe return to the studio in person and we're not quite got that confidence just yet. So if any of those speak to you, or maybe it's something else entirely, do feel free to reach out to me. You can either check me out on Instagram, send me a message over there, or just send me an email, and I would love to practice with you. Whatever it is, I'd love to tailor the practice to suit you, suit your individual needs, and we can go on this little journey together. So as I say, all the details are below if you want to have a chat, and I hope to hear from you very soon. All right, lots of love. Mwah.